The 11th house, Labha Bhava, the fulfillment of desires, gains, social media, Aries rising, part 1. The warrior in the court of collective power. For Aries rising, the 11th house, Labha Bhava, falls in Aquarius, ruled by Saturn and co-ruled by Rahu. This is the house of long-term aspirations, social gains, networking, and social media presence. The direct and action-driven Aries native, forged by Mars, now steps into a realm that demands abstract thinking, systemic awareness, and social reform. Here, the warrior is called to become an innovator. Instead of conquest through force, they must now channel their energy through collaboration, unconventional ideas, and humanitarian goals. Their success comes not from domination, but from aligning with progressive visions that challenge the status quo. Aquarius in the 11th, the architect of futuristic alliances. Aquarius infuses the 11th house with originality, disruption, and a collective vision. Aries, usually focused on personal victory, now learns the power of strategic alignment. Their gains in life, financial, social, or aspirational, depend on their ability to break molds, form visionary networks, and participate in causes that benefit the whole. This placement supports careers and gains through technology, activism, digital communities, humanitarian projects, scientific innovation, or social platforms. These natives thrive where individuality serves the collective, where speed meets substance and passion meets principle. Saturn and Rahu as lords, grit meets genius. Saturn, the primary ruler, offers rewards only through long-term effort, discipline, and delayed gratification. Aries must learn patience, structure, and the value of sustained vision. If Saturn is strong, they build lasting legacies in tech, innovation, or social leadership. If weak, they may feel blocked by hierarchy or struggle with peer validation. Rahu, the co-lord, adds a spark of rebellious genius. It pushes Aries toward the unorthodox, startups, online fame, fringe ideologies, or viral campaigns. But if Rahu is unanchored, they may get lost in illusions of popularity or fall prey to addictive social validation. Together, these rulers demand that Aries ground their dynamism in strategy and align action with systemic change. From drive to direction. The 11th house teaches Aries rising that not every battle is fought alone. True gains come through networks, ideals, and scalable impact. Their natural courage must evolve into inclusive leadership, one that lifts others while charging ahead. Here, desire becomes collective vision, leadership becomes social architecture, and identity becomes legacy, not through noise, but through contribution. Activation years and turning points. The 11th house activates at ages 11, 23, 35, 47, 59, 71, and 83. These years mark surges in influence, gains, and major networking shifts. At 23 or 35, Aries rising may build communities, go viral, join collaborative ventures, or reorient their goals to match emerging social realities. At 47 or 59, they may be called to guide others, formalize impact, or even mentor the next generation of disruptors. Each activation tests whether their desire is self-centered or wired into something larger, whether they chase approval or embody innovation. From self to system. Ultimately, Aquarius in the 11th house reminds Aries rising that the future is a group endeavor. Labha Bhava becomes not just about what they gain, but what kind of world they help construct. Personal fire must light collective torches. The self-starter becomes the systems builder. This is where the fighter becomes the reformer. The individualist becomes the movement. And where Aries rising learns, the most lasting victories are not just won, they are shared. The 11th house, Labha Bhava, the fulfillment of desires, gains, social media, Aries rising, part 2. 8 most defining conjunctions in Aquarius, where independence meets impact and innovation becomes identity. For Aries rising, the 11th house lies in Aquarius, a Saturn and Rahu-ruled air sign that demands that raw ambition be tempered with vision, and that personal victory be widened into collective relevance. This is not about conquest for self-glory. It is about building something larger than the self. In Aquarius, Aries learns the power of systems, networks, and revolutions of thought. These 8 conjunctions within Aquarius represent defining karmic invitations, moments where Aries rising must turn intensity into influence and passion into progress. Saturn and Mercury, the strategist's voice or system-bound mind. This conjunction offers intellectual discipline and the potential for long-term impact through thought leadership. For Aries rising, it enables systematic communication, ideal for activism, policymaking, or organizing intellectual movements. If benefic, it crafts a wise reformer with structured ideas and social precision. If afflicted, it may bring mental rigidity, fear of failure, or repetitive thinking loops. Dharma clarifies when they realize that impact lies not in noise, but in clear, lasting frameworks. Saturn and Rahu, revolutionary realist or trapped iconoclast. This intense duo gives the Aries native a double-edged blade of originality and structure. It fuels groundbreaking innovation in science, technology, or social reform, but can also feel like a slow burn of pressure. If benefic, it produces system disruptors with real-world influence. Think tech pioneers or humanitarian engineers. If afflicted, it can lead to obsessive social climbing, burnout from forced visibility, or ethical gray zones. Karma matures when they root their ambition in enduring principles, not just applause. Saturn and Sun, purpose-built leadership or burdened ego. This pairing builds authoritative presence and makes Aries rising a builder of institutions or long-term projects. It suits leadership in engineering, social governance, or humanitarian command centers. If benefic, it gives gravitas and credibility in high-stakes circles. If afflicted, it may produce inner doubt, control issues, or a career blocked by authority conflicts. Their sole work is to blend humility with resolve, to serve rather than dominate the systems they build. Mercury and Rahu, viral intellect or misguided megaphone. This high-voltage combination charges up social media reach, messaging influence, and unconventional thought. Aries rising with this may become cutting-edge communicators, futurists, disruptors, or online change agents. If benefic, it brings fast-talking brilliance with societal reach. If afflicted, it leads to mental noise, ideological confusion, or a chase for virality over value. Dharma aligns when they focus their mind on meaning, not just metrics. Mercury and Sun, voice of the vision or rhetorical overdrive. This radiant pair shines through communication, especially when it's tied to progressive ideals. Aries rising may express themselves through public speaking, writing, or cause-driven media. If benefic, it grants clarity, leadership, and courage in messaging. If afflicted, it leads to performative speech, over-intellectualization, or thought disconnected from heart. Karma refines when they speak not to dominate, but to illuminate what matters. Rahu and Sun, icon or illusionist. This conjunction intensifies the need for recognition, often through public causes, digital activism, or fame via innovation. For Aries rising, it can skyrocket influence, especially online or in tech domains. If benefic, they become trailblazers, rebels with causes, charismatic leaders of new paradigms. If afflicted, it inflates ego, creates a persona rather than purpose, or ties self-worth to social metrics. Their soul matures when they drop the image and return to the mission. Sun and Saturn, silent, leader, or burdened identity. This conjunction forces Aries rising to earn their influence the hard way. It brings long-haul leadership, especially in regulatory bodies, reform councils, or industries tied to justice and ethics. If benefic, they embody quiet strength and respected authority. If afflicted, they may suffer from suppressed ego, delayed recognition, or a fear of visibility. Their path clears when they embrace responsibility, not as a weight, but as a soul contract to build what lasts. Mercury and Saturn, precision messenger or fearful thinker. This stabilizing yet strict pairing favors research, regulation, and speech with social consequence. Aries rising with this may become the architects of data systems, reform frameworks, or educational philosophies. If benefic, it gives speech that endures, wise, careful, and constructive. If afflicted, it brings communication anxiety, censorship, or distrust in their own mind. Liberation begins when they trust the clarity that emerges from silence. In summary, Aquarius in the 11th house teaches Aries rising that fulfillment of desire comes not through domination, but integration. These conjunctions remind them that their fire must fuel systems that last. The rebel must become the reformer. The loud leader must become a conscious collaborator. This is where the pioneer becomes the innovator, where the solo warrior finds power in platforms, and where Aries rising learns, lasting gain is never just what you get, it's what you help create for the world. The 11th house, Labha Bhava, the fulfillment of desires, gains, social media, Leo rising, part 1, the royal must learn to share the stage. For Leo rising, the 11th house, Labha Bhava, falls in Gemini, a mutable air sign ruled by Mercury. The sun-ruled Leo individual begins life with a commanding presence, a natural sense of dignity, and a deep desire for respect. But when it comes to the 11th house, of friendships, networks, long-term goals, and social media, they must move from singularity to plurality. The lion must learn to play in a world that thrives on curiosity, communication, and collaboration. Gemini in the 11th house teaches Leo rising that gains don't always come through control or charisma, but through dialogue, versatility, and strategic alliances. The world doesn't just want their light, it wants their ideas, their humor, and their ability to think flexibly across platforms and people. Gemini in the 11th, clever circles quick results. Gemini brings speed, intellect, and duality to the house of gains. For Leo rising, this means their ambitions are intellectually charged. They desire not just recognition, but influence through messaging, media, or movement. Social networks become tools for sharing ideas, building brands, and circulating wit. Their gains often come through writing, marketing, broadcasting, public speaking, or any role where words become wealth. They are naturally drawn to dynamic circles: content creators, educators, journalists, influencers, campaigners. Their style of influence is conversational, not commanding. On social media, they shine when they adapt, respond quickly, and engage with variety. But they must also resist becoming scattered. Loyalty and depth don't always come easy in Gemini's fast-moving sphere. Mercury as Lord, intelligence becomes social currency. Mercury, ruler of Gemini, brings intelligence, versatility, and a love for learning. In the 11th house, it governs how Leo rising interacts with their networks and structures their long-term goals. If Mercury is well placed, they become magnetic communicators and social organizers, able to rally people around ideas and build communities of discourse. If afflicted, Mercury may bring restlessness, intellectual ego, or superficial alliances. They may chase short-term attention or become over-invested in being seen online, rather than building something real. The lesson here is to lead through conversation, not monologue, and to anchor ideas with long-term intention. From center stage to conversational power. The 11th house teaches Leo rising that not all visibility is vertical, that true influence flows through dialogue, not dominion, that sometimes stepping off the stage and into the circle allows them to reach farther and matter more. They are still regal, but here, royalty is relational, and success depends not just on charisma, but on connection, communication, and mental adaptability. Activation years and turning points. The 11th house activates at ages 11, 23, 35, 47, 59, 71, and 83. These years bring shifts in social status, expansion through group efforts, and turning points in how Leo rising shares their voice. At 23 or 35, they may gain followers, start digital platforms, or build communities around ideas. At 47 or 59, they may become mentors, thought leaders, or heads of networks. Each activation tests whether they are stuck in self-expression or stepping into shared elevation, whether they're broadcasting for validation or truly engaging. From performance to participation. Ultimately, Gemini in the 11th house teaches Leo rising that the world doesn't just want to admire them, it wants to converse with them. That being the center of attention must evolve into being the center of intelligent exchange. And that long-term gain requires mental agility, open networks, and a willingness to listen, learn, and laugh. This is where the monarch becomes the messenger, where pride becomes participation, and where Leo rising, born to shine, learns that their brightest influence comes not from standing alone, but from lighting up the minds of many. The 11th house, Labha Bhava, the fulfillment of desires, gains, social media, Leo rising part 2. 8 most defining conjunctions in Gemini, where influence must flow and authority must adapt. For Leo rising, the 11th house lies in Gemini, a sign of agility, intellect, and endless curiosity. While Leo thrives in stable self-expression and sovereign identity, Gemini in the 11th demands versatility, responsiveness, and collaborative intelligence. Here, social success is not about commanding presence, but about staying relevant through conversation, adaptability, and wit. These 8 conjunctions in Gemini represent defining moments when Leo rising must evolve from solitary star to networked leader, where recognition comes not from spotlight alone, but from resonant messaging. Mercury and Sun. the royal broadcaster or opinionated performer. This conjunction combines Leo's core identity with the mercurial urge to communicate. In the 11th house, it brings fame through speech, public speaking, online education, social platforms, or written authority. If benefic, Leo rising becomes a respected voice in their network, warm, articulate, and influential. If afflicted, it may cause over-talking, fixed opinions, or ego-driven dialogue. Karma matures when they learn to speak not just to be heard, but to connect, inform, and uplift. Mercury and Venus, charismatic connector or shallow popularity. This charming pair infuses words with grace, making Leo rising magnetic on social media, in public relations, or artistic collaborations. If benefic, they gain through storytelling, brand building, or aesthetic expression, merging intelligence with beauty. If afflicted, they may become distracted by trend chasing or engage in flattery for gain. Dharma awakens when they remember that elegance must meet substance, and real value outlasts likes. Mercury and Jupiter, expansive influence or intellectual overreach. This wise communicator builds networks around ideas, knowledge, and shared values. For Leo rising, it supports careers in education, law, publishing, or high-minded media. If benefic, they are admired for their breadth of thought and generous message. If afflicted, they may speak too much, promise more than they deliver, or preach without listening. Fulfillment arrives when they synthesize information into usable wisdom and treat words as tools, not trophies. Mercury and Rahu, viral voice or scattered intellect. This fast and unorthodox pairing brings digital disruption, social media magnetism, and edgy wit. Leo rising can go viral, become a niche influencer, or lead intellectual revolutions. If benefic, they're bold, trend-setting communicators with cultural relevance. If afflicted, they may spread misinformation, burn out from overexposure, or lose their voice chasing virality. Dharma clarifies when they commit to a message deeper than clicks, one that actually moves people forward. Sun and Venus, magnetic appeal or ego masked as grace. This radiant fusion of personality and poise makes Leo rising charming, visible, and popular, especially in the arts, fashion, or influencer circuits. In the 11th, they attract followers easily and may play a central role in curated digital communities. If benefic, they are admired leaders who bring beauty into public conversation. If afflicted, their need to be liked may override authenticity. Karma balances when they choose real impact over perfect image. Sun and Jupiter, noble influence or dogmatic persona. This grand conjunction elevates Leo rising into philosophical, ethical, or spiritual leadership among peers. They may be public mentors, guides, or intellectual figureheads. If benefic, they embody magnanimous truth, using their voice to inspire and lead. If afflicted, they may appear self-righteous, overconfident, or immune to feedback. Dharma deepens when they lead through values, tempered by humility, not inflated by applause. Sun and Rahu, iconic persona or addicted to recognition. This combination skyrockets visibility and brings the Leo rising's persona into the public sphere in dramatic, digital, or revolutionary ways. If benefic, they become cultural icons, pioneering new narratives or reforming public identity. If afflicted, they may become obsessed with fame, lose touch with purpose, or experience egoic downfall. Their karmic journey stabilizes when they use visibility as a vehicle for collective uplift, not personal validation. Venus and Rahu, trend-setting power or material obsession. This stylish conjunction boosts Leo rising's appeal in glamour, luxury branding, digital art, or aesthetic movements. If benefic, they become tastemakers, visionaries of elegance with a wide audience. If afflicted, it may foster superficial desires, envy, or constant comparison. Their growth accelerates when they channel beauty as a means of connection and cultural contribution, not just personal display. In summary, Gemini in the 11th house teaches Leo rising that gains come not through fixed identity, but through fluid communication, mental agility, and social collaboration. These conjunctions shape their evolution from solitary leader to participatory influencer, where fulfillment lies in dialogue, not monologue. This is where the monarch becomes the moderator, where radiance becomes relevance, and where Leo rising, born to shine, discovers that the most powerful light is the one that illuminates others in the conversation. The 11th house, Labha Bhava, the fulfillment of desires, gains, social media, Sagittarius rising, part 1. The philosopher who must ground the vision. For Sagittarius rising, the 11th house, Labha Bhava, falls in Libra, a cardinal air sign ruled by Venus. Sagittarius begins life fueled by ideals, faith, and a ceaseless hunger for meaning. They are visionaries, explorers of truth, and seekers of a better future. But in the 11th house, governing social circles, long-term ambitions, and influence, they are met with Libra's diplomatic finesse, relational balance, and aesthetic precision. Here, the bold philosopher must learn to refine. The wild arrow must learn to aim through elegance. Libra in the 11th house teaches Sagittarius rising that big dreams require graceful collaboration. Their ideals need allies. Their missions require strategy. It is not enough to dream. They must learn to design, to harmonize, and to create social ecosystems that are just, attractive, and inclusive. Libra in the 11th, harmonious alliances, elegant ambitions. Libra brings equilibrium, negotiation, and visual symmetry into this house of gains. For Sagittarius rising, friendships often revolve around beauty, justice, or shared ideals. Their networks may include designers, diplomats, artists, social reformers, people who value style with substance. They are drawn toward elegant spaces, progressive communities, and cooperative structures. Social media becomes a mirror of their values, polished, inspiring, and relationship-oriented. Their goals are no longer about solitary success, but about building aesthetically and ethically pleasing legacies with others. Influence here is curated, never loud, but always refined. Venus as Lord, relationships as the road to results. Venus, ruler of Libra, governs love, value, harmony, and beauty. In the 11th house, it gives Sagittarius rising an instinct for relational intelligence. If Venus is strong, they attract gains through charm, diplomacy, and alignment with high-minded social movements. Their desires become easier to fulfill when they are aligned with causes that uplift art, culture, or collective fairness. If afflicted, Venus may lead them to vanity in social spaces, to overly aestheticized goals, or to alliances based on superficial connection. They may overvalue appearance, comfort, or passive approval. Their karmic refinement lies in understanding that beauty without truth is hollow, and agreement without integrity is dangerous. From expansion to elegance, the 11th house teaches Sagittarius rising that not all forward motion is progress, that growth must include grace, that freedom must make room for fairness, and that influence is strongest not when it's loudest, but when it is most resonant. They are called not just to lead, but to co-create, to balance idealism with inclusion, and to let their truth move through the elegance of shared purpose. Activation years and turning points. The 11th house activates at ages 11, 23, 35, 47, 59, 71, and 83. These years bring new networks, collaborative opportunities, and maturity in their vision of success. At 23 or 35, they may join causes rooted in justice, design digital brands, or build cross-cultural partnerships. At 47 or 59, they are asked to mentor, arbitrate, or serve as bridges between ideologies. Each turning point asks, are your gains aligned with grace? Are you moving alone or guiding the many? Are you building a beautiful world or just preaching about one? From wanderer to weaver. Ultimately, Libra in the 11th house teaches Sagittarius rising that desire must be made relational. That success is not a solo journey, it is a dance of shared values, and that the most enduring influence lies not in declarations, but in designs. This is where the wanderer becomes the weaver, where belief becomes beauty, and where Sagittarius rising, born to seek, learns that the fulfillment of purpose must be built not just in truth, but in tandem. The 11th house, Labha Bhava, the fulfillment of desires, gains, social media, Sagittarius rising. 8 most defining conjunctions in Libra, where vision finds balance and beauty shapes collective purpose. For Sagittarius rising, Libra governs the 11th house, the domain of ambitions, networks, recognition, and digital influence. Governed by Venus, Libra brings harmony, diplomacy, and aesthetics to this otherwise ideologically driven chart. Sagittarius, known for truth-seeking, freedom, and fiery expansion, now faces the karmic challenge of refining passion through partnership, influence through elegance, and ideals through relational intelligence. These 8 conjunctions in Libra mark pivotal moments where Sagittarius rising must align belief with beauty and convert philosophical fire into culturally resonant impact. Venus and Mercury, articulate connector or superficial allyship. This conjunction grants Sagittarius rising the ability to blend charm with intellect. In the 11th, it enhances persuasive communication, ideal for brand building, social campaigns, or cultural commentary. If benefic, they form graceful, clever alliances and become admired in social causes. If afflicted, they may favor aesthetics over substance or relationships built on convenience over conviction. Dharma evolves when they let diplomacy serve truth, not replace it. Venus and Sun, radiant social grace or ego draped in elegance. This polished pairing gives natural popularity and leadership in aesthetic or justice-driven spaces. For Sagittarius rising, it draws attention in art, culture, and value-led platforms. If benefic, they embody classy authority, leading not with dominance but with decorum. If afflicted, they may become performative, overly image-focused, or hesitant to challenge disharmony. Karma ripens when they speak truth through beauty, not in spite of it. Venus and Jupiter, harmonized expansion or overindulgent ideals. This graceful combination joins Sagittarius chart ruler Jupiter with Libra's planetary lord. It brings abundant social opportunity and success through collaborative causes. If benefic, they gain through education, advocacy, or ethical entrepreneurship. If afflicted, it can lead to indulgence, entitlement, or preaching without application. Fulfillment emerges when generosity is paired with discernment and aesthetics are anchored in ethics. Venus and Rahu, digital stardom or superficial popularity. This high visibility conjunction boosts social magnetism and modern relevance. Sagittarius rising may become influencers, trendsetters, or activists with aesthetic appeal. If benefic, they modernize ideals through refined public voices. If afflicted, they may become too attached to validation, style over substance, or perform social virtue for clout. Their karmic growth clarifies when popularity serves a deeper value, when they inspire, not just impress. Mercury and Sun, the thoughtful leader or idealistic talker. This sharp combination gives Sagittarius rising the power to command attention through words, particularly in legal, ethical, or design-focused communities. If benefic, they become eloquent visionaries, clear, fair, and inspiring. If afflicted, it may result in speaking without listening or using charm to avoid confrontation. Dharma aligns when they hold their truth with grace, not hidden beneath it. Mercury and Jupiter, educational voice or overextended communicator. This expansive intellectual combo gives Sagittarius rising a compelling, persuasive presence across platforms. If benefic, they educate through well-structured ideas, lead think tanks, or mediate cultural discourse. If afflicted, they may overtalk, promise beyond their reach, or become scattered in ideology. Fulfillment comes when speech is grounded in service, not spectacle. Sun and Jupiter, noble guidance or inflated morality. This luminous conjunction brings ethical influence and status within value-based networks. If benefic, Sagittarius rising becomes a guiding light in law, academia, or social justice. If afflicted, it can manifest as moral arrogance, elitism, or a holier-than-thou persona in peer circles. Their evolution deepens when leadership comes from humility and when teaching turns into mentoring, not preaching. Sun and Rahu, iconic persona or inflated self-image. This magnetic blend thrusts Sagittarius rising into public life, often as a culture-shaping voice or digital symbol. If benefic, they break norms with class, leading social revolutions through artistry, law, or refined rhetoric. If afflicted, it may distort identity, trigger ego trips, or disconnect them from grounded impact. Dharma is strengthened when they focus not on being seen, but on what is being seen through them. In summary, Libra in the 11th house teaches Sagittarius rising that desire must be dressed in diplomacy, and that truth must find form in taste, timing, and tact. These conjunctions refine their social power, transforming wild ideals into harmonious alliances and public service. This is where the preacher becomes the peacemaker, where expansion becomes elegance, and where Sagittarius rising, born to chase the horizon, learns that the most lasting influence is crafted together, beautifully, and with purpose that speaks to the many.